Hello everyone, this is Taylor with Gorge Anglers in Canyon City, Colorado, the fly shop of the Arkansas River and only Orvis Endorsed outfitter on the Arkansas. So, we have now entered a new time period on the Arkansas River. This is the true runoff time period, and as you can expect, the river is fairly unfishable at this point in time. We have been throwing streamers and catching fish, but productivity has decreased and clarity has been compromised from the top down. We expect flow to continue to increase in the next week or so, to plateau in early June and to come down in early to mid-June. What happens when it comes down is edges begin to clear fairly quickly. It just so happens that we've got great stonefly hatch activity at that same point in time. The stoneflies will be starting to crawl to the edges and splitting their exoskeletons and hatching. So that is a big dry fly and streamer time period on the Arkansas River, and as soon as edges begin to clear, we're fishing this river hard again. Flow rate is not a concern, even if the flow rate is 2,000 CFS, 1,500 CFS. It's not a concern for us because from a walk weight standpoint, we are walking the edge, we're fishing the edges, the pocket water, the edge seams, etc. All of the fish are against the edge. It's like fishing in a barrel. Stoneflies are hatching. It all seems to really complement. They definitely complement one another, and fishing can just be phenomenal. This is truly what we have coming up is truly the highest catch rate that you will experience on this river throughout the season, and it's on big dries and streamers. And so keep looking at our report. Keep up to date on what's happening on the river. Again, flow rate is not always the telltale sign on what's happening on the river. Again, we can have excellent fishing at 2,000 CFS. This is a big river. This isn't the South Platte. This isn't your typical Colorado tailwater. It's a freestone. So it fishes a lot like the Colorado, the Roaring Fork, etc. You can have higher volume flow rate, still fish great. Even if the water is a little off color in the current tongue and we have clear edges, we're fishing this river hard. What we really suggest you take a look at is possibly doing a float on the river with us during this time period, mid to late June into July, when the flows are a little bit higher. Really get to see a lot of the river, and like I said, big dries and streamers out of the boat are a lot of fun. Again, catch rate is extremely high during this time period. Fish are hungry, they're tucked against the bank. Again, fishing in a barrel doesn't get much easier. So while we wait for that stonefly hatch and streamer time period and clearing edges on this river, which will be, a couple weeks most likely, what do we do around here? I mean, we've got a ton of fly fishing that we typically don't get to take a look at until the Arkansas, gets unfishable, and the Arkansas is so good, right? That makes sense. But in Fremont County, we've got 3 phenomenal small streams: Grape Creek, Badger Creek, and Beaver Creek, which are all just world-class small streams. Grape Creek being a tailwater, Beaver Creek a tailwater, and some native inflow as well from spring creeks, and then Badger Creek being a spring creek from the top down. They all fish phenomenally, and can see really high catch rates during this time period. Dry dropper dries, and pretty easy access on 2 of them. Badger Creek's a little bit of a walk into, but Grape Creek and Beaver Creek you can fairly easily just drive right up to the river. So highly recommend you come down and visit us and take a look at these great fisheries if you haven't done that. give us a call if you have any questions about those, or shoot us an email. This is a great time period to get on those small streams and really catch fish until your arm falls off type deal. And there are some good sized fish as well, in especially Great Creek and Badger Creek, some really nice fish. And there actually is a Terra narcissus salmon fly hatch on Beaver Creek, which is pretty phenomenal. We also have some great reservoirs in our area. In less than 50 minutes, we're on Spinney 11 Mile in Antero. We also have Deweese Reservoir, which is a very underrated fishery, just stone's throw in our backyard up by Westcliff. So a lot of fishing to be had up here. So if you're coming, want to get a break from the Front Range, or you're taking a trip, don't be scared of the water on the Arkansas. There's just so many other great options in this area. So stop in the fly shop, ask us about specialized patterns for this area, directions, etc. We'd be more than happy to set you in the right direction to have a wonderful day on the water. If you'd like to get a guide for any of these fisheries, that is an option as well through our Orvis Endorsed Outfitter Guide service. So give us a call. And we also do operate a powerboat on Spinney Reservoir. Those dates are fairly booked up, but we do have some availability there as well. So all in all, we're really looking forward to an exciting summer season on the Arkansas River. We're looking forward to streamer and big dry fly fishing coming up very shortly. If you haven't experienced that on the upper Arkansas, you're missing your bet. Bring your hiking boots or wet wade. Bring a handful of big dries and streamers. You will not be disappointed. And again, give us a call. Toll free 888-994-6743 if you have any questions. Real quickly, want to touch on the tailwater below Pueblo Reservoir. This fishery is extremely tough to approach in June, late May and June, just because it's a much smaller riverbed than the upper Arkansas, and with a flow rate of 800 to 2,000, it's really just hard to approach. Sometimes you'll have clarity because it is tailwater. However, fish are extremely spread out. Sometimes you can get in there with a streamer and pluck a few fish out, but typically we really suggest you get down to Fremont County and check out the small streams and possibly hit a reservoir in South Park area or Deweese. They're just better options for you. And like I said, there's just so many options other than trying to get out there at high water. And it's a short time period. It's a little bit longer on the tailwater. It typically will last into the early July time period. We see the river clear and drop much quicker up on the upper Arkansas, while they continue to release for agricultural demands on the tailwater. So keep an eye on our reports. They will update almost daily on what's going on. We may miss a little bit. Our guides are headed to Mexico with host trips and other areas, so we may miss a couple days here and there, but do keep up to date on what's going on. Get down to see us. A lot of fly fishing to be had near rural Gorge anglers right now, and do give us a call if you have any questions. 888-994-6743, or visit us online at www.ruralgorgeanglers.com. Again, it's been a pleasure. We hope to see you in very soon, and we look forward to an exciting summer season on the water with you.